We'll figure it out once we're live.
Okay, well, good thing we're live.
And welcome back to the best podcast known to mankind, the We're Not Friends podcast, starring Max, yours truly, and his co-host, his co-host Tasha, over there that way. Say hi to the people, Tasha.
Hi, people.
We have an action-packed episode for you guys today.
Uh-huh.
We've been planning this all week. Oh, my
Have
mom
we?
is in the building. What's up, Mom? Damn, Mom. Show up on time. Mom is in the building. Mom, we've been planning this episode all week. We're going to follow. Well, first of all, Tasha. Tasha's late today. You want to tell us why you're late, Tasha?
Just because I've been busy. I had things to do, and then I just dropped the whole container of Lego pieces on the floor. And it's not just like any container of Lego pieces. It's like all of like the little tiny pieces that
Oh,
are
the
like,
little square ones? They're tiny
yeah,
the flat
yeah.
ones?
My little
Aw,
bucket of little pieces are,
hell no. Do you have just a random bucket of random Lego pieces?
yeah. Well, speaking of Lego, it's because I have a new set on my shelf. Have you noticed anything
Ooh.
different?
Let me see it.
It's literally,
I can't see. It's like really small. That one?
yeah.
Is that the Millennium Falcon or something?
No, it's Ahsoka's ship.
Show me the one I
Yeah.
like again. I always like seeing that one.
Oh, this one?
Put it closer. You can barely see
Yo,
it.
I'm like, I'm feeling awkward right now with my,
Ah, I love it. I love that one.
yeah. So, uh, we
Magic
gotta
says,
deal. We gotta deal with this in the way. By the way,
what is that?
my stand base.
Your stand base. Magic says she hasn't watched the DM you sent her, but she will.
It's okay. We can watch it today if that's gonna be part of today's topic. If we're gonna continue last week.
Tasha, this is our podcast. We can do this. Could be what? Come on, Tash.
Okay, let's start with yours. What do you want to talk about this week then?
Well, let's start with our peaks and pits.
Okay.
Because we haven't done that in forever.
That's true.
So you first.
Oh, you go first. I have to think about this. I don't even know what I did yesterday, dude. And I know I was trying to ignore him, Magic.
Because that's
I'm
the
just
only
used to it.
you don't even know the
I'm
name
just
of
used
it.
to it.
You called it Ahsoka's ship. You don't even know the name of it. Talking about I don't know.
Good question, actually. It's like a T6 something.
So
I always forget the name. Anyways.
Yeah. My peak of the week. So I will say this. Proud moment. Proud moment.
What?
It's in this little coffin right here. Look at
What the
this.
fuck? What is that?
I won an award this week.
You won an award?
I did. I don't know if you could see what it says.
Top producer of 2024? Wait, you sold a house?
Plural, girl. Plural.
A single house? You sold one house and got an award for that?
You better recognize.
Wow.
Top producer of my brokerage with one person. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. You're the only one. Oh, that's actually a really good.
Mom being my cheerleader. I appreciate you, Queen. Thanks, Mom. Look at you. Look at Mom. Yo, you know what's
I know
crazy?
that's actually really exciting. What?
We invited my mom to dinner the other day, and she was like, "Nah, you guys go ahead." I'm like, "What you got going on, Mom? You can't come to dinner with us."
She has to go celebrate your sister's winning.
I guess so. But yeah, that was my peak of the week. I got top 5 producer of 2024. That was pretty awesome. And if they don't,
that was so last year though. Oh my god.
That is so last year. Now it's like it's cool, but it's bittersweet because I'm like, damn, I got to do that shit again this year. And that's gonna be hard. It's gonna be really hard because I had a really good year. If we do the numbers, they don't tell you the numbers, but I'm pretty sure I was like number 2 out of the top 5. So that's pretty cool. My pit of the week is I'm not sure that I have one actually. That's life is good. Life we good out here.
Life is
Tasha,
good.
have you heard of the movie
Huh.
Companion? Have you heard of Companion?
I want to say yes, but no.
Okay. Yeah. If well, I think you'd like it. I think you and Iz would like it. Go see. Well, if y'all ever catch it on Netflix or something, because I know y'all don't like going to the movies. Watch Companion. It's a pretty interesting movie.
Okay.
Yeah, me and Janie
Interesting.
got this pass thing where you pay $40 a month, but you get like unlimited. You get to go to the movies unlimited. So we're using the
Oh.
shit out of that pass. We're going to the movies all the time. So we went yesterday. Max, is Magic roasted right now? Is she? Am I being roasted right now? Live? Live?
Yeah, literally.
Magic better get her. Let me think of something clever to say. Go ahead, Tasha. It's your
Oh,
turn.
wow. No, continue. What are you going to say? That's so clever.
Magic better get her. Actually, I
Mm-hmm.
can't roast her. I have
Why
videos that
not?
will, because I have videos that will roast her. There's a video of her like trying to twirl at Disney. It's like the funniest thing ever. I'll roast her in person next time I see her.
Sure. Look at that. He's afraid. He's afraid. He has nothing to say.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm intimidated.
so, you have no pit of the week?
Mm, my pit of the week is that I had to do this YouTube stuff because
That's
you're
true.
running late.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm sorry that I set up the. Wait, did you just admit that? Oh, wait, he did just admit that. So I
That is
am the one that puts in all the work to set
the
up the
the
podcast every
one
week.
job that
And the
you have.
one time this week that he needed to do it for me. Look at that. And he's complaining.
The one job that you had. Though you had one
Mm
job.
hmm. Mm hmm. Mm hmm. Sure, my one job. I carry this shit and I set it up. What are you doing out here?
I am the show.
Trying to
I'm
get
the
your
star.
part equal? Is that what you're doing out here?
I'm the Blake Lively of this shit. I carry this shit.
That's what you want to be labeled as?
I'm
Okay.
the Blake Lively of the show. It don't happen without me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Recognize. Put some respect on my puffs.
No thanks. You know, I was mm, mm.
What? Say it.
You kind of look, like some balls and you know.
What?
Anyways, continuing on. So,
You
my
tried.
peak.
You tried.
I just don't want to say the word, penis on air, but sure. So my peak would be getting my Lego set. It was exciting.
Yeah.
Finally, been waiting 2 months. And then also I had a great relaxing weekend, spending the whole weekend with Azat. It was
What'd y'all
fun.
do?
Literally nothing. Took multiple naps, chilled. Was the best. Um, and then my pit of the week. Yo, I can't really think of anything like that's the thing. I don't even remember. My phone is currently being used to film, so I can't look at my photos like I usually do to see what I've done for the past week.
What happened to your
But
camera?
my my oh, I don't know. I haven't used Zat's camera in a minute. I just keep using my phone. It's just easier because I was running out of time. I was running late. I didn't have time to set up a whole fucking camera.
Well, what were you doing? You still
Um,
haven't answered the question. Why were you late?
I was writing something and doing some notes about something side related
Mm,
IRL stuff.
mm, mm. Okay.
Mm, yeah.
All right. All right.
But what else do you have to talk about today then? If you had
Woo!
other plans. Woo. What are your plans
Four is,
for today?
is my mother Max loving on me? I need to meet you. Listen to Mama Max. Imagine you were like my mom. She calls you la muchacha de Disney.
Let me tell you, I'd rather meet your mom than you again. Just saying.
My mom's cool. My mom's cool as hell.
Yeah.
My mom.
Like
Speaking of gossip,
why would I waste my time, trying to meet up with you again?
Greatness. I mean, my mom is greatness, and of course, she made me. So, yeah, no, I just
Oh,
apple don't
okay,
fall far from the
okay,
tree. But
okay.
speaking of gossip, my mom be on all the gossip. My
Yeah.
mom knows. She informs me and Janie of like the happenings in Hollywood and stuff. My
Oh,
mom,
really?
yeah, she told me about this new show called Extraction or something like that. I don't know if you heard
Mm-hmm.
of it, but it's pretty cool.
Sounds familiar. I think some people were talking about it
Extraction.
recently.
Yeah. Oh, and we're watching Severance. I know you've heard of that, right? Severance?
I've heard. Yeah, I keep hearing O'Malley talk about it, and I think Boogie's been hosting spaces about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never watched the first season, so I'm not too familiar with it,
Do you
but
know
I've
what
been down to watch it.
watch that? I mean, the first couple of episodes are pretty like it like it takes a while for the story to get going, but it does get going and does get pretty interesting. Do you know what cheeseman is, Tasha?
No,
No?
no.
Cheeseman. Cheeseman is gossip.
Oh,
Say it, cheeseman.
Cheeseman?
Cheeseman, yeah, gossip. So, mom, when are you gonna come? When are you gonna come on? First of all, mom, when are you gonna come on the pod on with me and Tasha? And then
Hell yeah.
come with your gossip.
Oh my
We
god.
should have had her last week on the gossip episode.
We should have. We really
Anywho,
should have.
let's get to it.
Anyways.
Let's get to it. I know you're dying to get this off your chest.
No, I'm not.
Get to it.
Get to what?
The end of the Blake Lively situation.
Okay.
Oh, she pulled it. Oh, she had it ready. Talk about what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Uh, will it still work if I do it like this? Yeah, okay.
Zoom in though. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, speaking of what we had going on today, I was watching Temptation Island with Zia today with my kid. Have you seen that show?
No.
That show is filthy. Like it puts you in a position to like it's dirty. So what they do is they take four couples and they take the
Mhm.
girls and they put them in a house with 20 single guys, and they take the guys and put them in a house with 20 single girls.
Of course.
So like it's like we want to test our relationship. And then they get all mad when like they cheat on each other. I'm like, man, this show is like screwed up to begin with. Like, if you know you're gonna go on that, like, what do they expect? What do
Yeah,
they,
right.
anyway, yeah, I was watching that today. That is crazy, crazy. Anyway, go ahead with the
Sounds
Blake Lively.
crazy. Sounds so crazy. Okay, so kind of where we left off. I know I like rushed the ending yesterday, but I kind of have like a little bit of a more point bullet form this week so that we can kind of stay on track
You
and kind of
revised
get
it.
through it. Kind of a little bit. I just made some notes of like some key things so that we can really get through it without bouncing all over the place.
My mom said I would never. Now, mom, I would never. But these couples are like 1 year relationships. Like they're kind of new relationships. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Watch the show, mom. Watch the show. Anyway, go ahead, Tosh. My bad.
It's okay. So we're gonna start here when they finish filming it, right? We kind of got to that part last week. So filming ended on February 9th. So then right after that, Blake basically requested to be a part of the editing process, which again, as of what I said last week, as an actress being hired, that's not her job. She's not supposed to have any part in the editing process at all. So it's unusual for her to request this. So when she did that, she actually threatened, saying that if they don't allow her to be a part of the editing process, that she wasn't going to film or like promote the film. So can I highlight? Yeah, I can highlight. So yeah, she says she wasn't going to be a part of promoting the film if they don't allow her to do it. So of course. Um, well, Justin explains that he needs time first to at least put something together so that she actually has something to edit and like look at. So he tells her like obviously like he needs some time first, like a few weeks to get something together so that he can present it to her so that she can come look at it and leave notes, whatever. So he then informs his editors and teams about her threat, obviously, because it's a big deal. So like obviously they need to know about it. And to keep her happy and to make sure that she promotes the film, they have to accept, obviously. So they accepted the demand from her, which, at this point, like he's already in like the whole getting walked over. So this is just another one of his things where he's like, he has no choice. He has to accept it, especially at this point, because like when she's a lead actress and she threatened to not promote the film, like that's a huge thing, right? So like everyone agreed that since she is the main character, they need her to at least be a part of it somehow. So that's why they agreed to it to allow her. So, they go back and forth about finding the right time and date to have her come in and sit down for it. Um, and while they're going back and forth, Justin has his unofficial screen test of the film. I didn't write pictures. Yeah, okay, here we go. So he has his unofficial, yeah, I guess it's not an official audience screen testing, but they screen tested it with some people, 100 people, and they got high ratings. I think it was like a 90% rating. Can't remember the exact number. I wrote 90 here, but I'm not sure where exactly this one is. But anyway, so his cut of the movie so far is getting really good ratings at this point. He shares it with her, telling her by text, like, hey, like it's going good so far, everything's looking good, blah blah blah. She's happy about it. So then she comes in March, so it's a month later, to sit down with them as she demanded. And on the first day that she sits down, um, he shows her what he has, and she leaves him with 7 pages of notes that she wanted to change and edit and all of this, right? So, sorry, I'm not even looking at this screen anymore. So he agrees um,
He's
to
dumb.
incorporate.
He's so dumb.
Well,
I'm
no, here,
sorry. I keep
hold
saying
on,
that. He's dumb.
hold on. Yeah, I know he's dumb, but like he agrees to incorporate her ideas and changes into it. But obviously, he makes it like known that it's like he's taking them in to his version of the cut. Like he will change things that he sees fit, that whatever, right? So like he's still at this point, he's still trying to remain control of the final cut, but he's being accepting to make changes based on her ideas and such. And then he tells Heath, the guy that I love, Jamie, love this dude. He tells him that like he knows that if she doesn't get what she wants, obviously, that she won't promote it. So this has left them in that situation that like they have to kind of make these changes for her. And so he agrees to keep her updated. So he's constantly like messaging back and forth with her, letting her know, sending her small little clips here and there of it so that he can keep her kind of informed and happy, trying to, what's the word? Uh,
Satisfied?
satisfy her. Yeah, that's what it is. I think this is about where it is. Oh yeah, here. This is the next part. Um, so then, yeah, perfect. I'm caught up here. So everything's good for like a week or two, right? Then she comes in and makes it known that they need to redo an entire scene, the rooftop scene. This is the big
Oh
ordeal
yeah.
scene, right?
And
So
Ryan Reynolds helped write it, right?
yeah, so I haven't even gotten there yet, bro. You're jumping ahead. So
Oh,
like this is her texting him basically telling him what she feels that scene should be. which is not what he envisioned, obviously, because he has a specific vision and he wrote the whole script, right? So he has like his path where she comes in with all of hers. And like some of the things that she said is like, I don't know, it's just it doesn't follow the same thing. Like she said that she wants people to make her look like a hero. Um, she wants people to fall in love with her character in the scene, which I mean, yeah, I get it, but like she's very focusing on herself and how her character is supposed to look in this scene rather than like the connection she's supposed to feel with like the characters are supposed to, like, because this is the first time the characters are meeting in the movie. So like this is supposed to be about their chemistry together and stuff, right? But she makes it very like heavily focused on her character and how she wants the character to be and act, and then he's kind of like just there for looks essentially. So like she has this whole thing. So um of course he's forced to make these alterations, obviously, because he takes her idea and tries to find that balance. But obviously, like with her threats and everything holding over their heads, like he's kind of having to give her like 70%, whereas he's left with 30, type of thing at this point.
Yeah.
Um, so Sony. Oh wait, where am I?
And
Yeah.
zoom
So
zoom in if you can, because it looks kind of tiny.
yeah, it's tiny on my end too. The more you zoom in, it doesn't really get better, to be honest.
That's fine.
Um, so yeah, you wanted to read that, guys. So then a little bit later, Sony then lets Justin know that Blake went behind his back and escalated the whole situation and is now demanding time in the editing room alone with her own editor, claiming that she won't promote the movie unless they agree to. So this is after. So this is like a few days after, she sends this note, whatnot, and then a few days later, she's demanding to have um, the editing room to herself with her own editor. And, it's like wild that she did that. So Justin tried to reach out to her at this point, right? Because they've been texting back and forth. Like obviously she just sent him a long ass text. So he tried to reach out to her again. But now this is literally the beginning of when she starts to what's the word? Ghost him, basically. So he reaches out trying to, have a meeting, talk about it, like offering her like, I don't know, like being like, you can come to the editing room more if you want, like you don't need to have it by yourself, like what's this request, we can work together on it, like whatnot. But she rejects him, and this is where she cuts off all communication with him, basically. At this point on, like they no longer speak together.
For how
um
long? For like from now
for
on?
the yeah, from now on, basically. Like
Oh,
that was like this demand about the rooftop scene was basically her last communication to him in total.
but if he gave in to her, why? Where was the rift?
Right? Like that's what I mean. Like she's crazy. She's
Oh.
crazy. So yeah, this is like the last time she really talked to him. And
Did you
then
see him at
now
the award show? Ryan Reynolds acting like nothing happened.
we'll get there. We'll get
Oh,
there.
my bad, my bad, my bad.
You'll get there. Trust me, I got the videos already lined up here.
Woo, come on,
Um
let's go.
so they're trying to like obviously like now she's communicating to Sony to communicate to him, so it's like it's a long chain of them. So obviously his company Wayfair has no other option than to agree um with this, to let her have yeah, they agree to let her have the editing room for 10 days at the end of April. um and they agreed that like whatever her ideas are going to be a part of his cut. So that was the thing. So it's like, okay, we'll let you have some editing time alone, but what you're going to edit is going to be added to his cut, essentially. So that was the agreement. And then at the same time, they're coordinating other things, not as important. So she agrees to have the 10 days in the editing room,
And
but she
this
make
is still being paid for by them, right? Not Blake Lively. So she
oh yeah, 100%. This is still under Wayfair's bill. Like this is still under their bill and everything. Like she's not paying for anything at this moment. She's not paying nothing. They're overspending essentially. This is why the budget got so crazy out of the way because of all of her demands and all of this, like all the delays and everything that she kept doing. Like this is why those bills kept racking up. Um, and obviously, like nobody on his team like thought this was a good idea. They all tried to argue against it, but obviously because of all of her threats right now with like trying to not promote it and stuff and all these other things, so they're kind of forced into giving it her way, like they don't really have an option at this point. Um so yeah, and Jamie, my favorite dude, he tells Sony, like he made it, yeah, clarifying that that he agreed to let her into the editing, but he doesn't endorse the idea. So like Heath has his back, and he's like making sure that everyone knows, like up above them, that like this isn't Justin like supporting all the things that she's doing. It's just having to give in to these demands. So shout out Jamie for having my dude's back the whole time, because he had his back the whole time, being completely upfront with everyone about what's happening. Um, yeah, like yeah, they keep saying like they want Blake to feel like she's getting what she wants so she can move on, or so that they can move on from it. Like they're just like, we'll let her edit, do her editing, but we're still gonna ultimately have the final say here, right? So that was just them like kind of giving in, but also trying to be like, make her think she has control, but we're going to try to take over after. Obviously, things don't go that way. Um, so the week, yeah, so she has like a specific week, obviously. So she has it up until May 1st for her time alone in the room and whatnot for editing. However, by the day before, I think May 1st or whatever, she then demands that she has an extension.
Mahalo said I look like this girl.
I mean, fucking facts, dude.
Keep going.
Yeah, so she says she wants more time to edit. Like it's already what do you call it? It's her time's up basically. It's coming to the end of her week with the editing room. And so she
Her time
demands
allotment has expired.
exactly. And then she demands Sony an extension, and she also demands that they bring on another person, like they hire another person to be there with her. Says I'm on the right page. Oh yeah. So she tells them to bring on another person into into the room with her. Um, and this is a good moment. Sony tells her no, basically, saying that like this is not Sony's movie, it's Wayfair's movie. They're just like Sony's just there for the marketing. Wayfair company has the movie rights. So like they tell her like no, like we can't give you more time. We can't
Basically,
hire
chill out.
somebody.
Chill
Yeah,
out. Chill out.
basically, right? So she was obviously upset because they tell her no. So um so wait, where am I? Yeah, so she wants to hire somebody and they say no. And then she continues with threats. So to the point where Wayfair finally agrees to have an extension, but only if she signs her what do you call it? Signs her contract for the movie because she's yet to sign it at this point, right? I know it's somewhere around here. I think it's this. Yeah, it has to be here. Yeah, so
Spoiler
she asks
alert.
for, here we go. So she asks for another week, and then wants to hire a personal editor again. This time an editor of Ryan's. So now she's basically saying like she's not going to like give in, whatnot. Yeah, because they said, sorry, I'm for some reason I just got lost for a second. But yeah, so they said that they'll allow the extension, but only if she signs her contract, because she's yet to do it. And by having her sign it, then she can't continue to like make the threats, right? So that's what they're hoping for, is just to get her to sign the shit so that they can like come back and be like, you can't keep threatening us, like what the fuck? Because that was their biggest problem. But it says like apparently they've been trying to get her to sign this for like months, but she keeps pushing them off. I don't know if she actually did sign it. That's the thing. Because it never mentioned that she signed it. So I don't think she actually signed it until they
Who would you
actually
cast
filmed.
in this movie if it wasn't Blake Lively? Who would you cast?
Thing is, I didn't read the book. I feel like if I actually read the book, I might have a better understanding of like what celebrity I could envision in the role. But I
I'd
don't
go
know.
I'd go with Anne Hathaway.
Well, here's the thing. Like I like Anne Hathaway, but the character of the book is supposed to be early 20s. The fact that Blake's almost 40 was already a weird casting.
Yeah.
So I feel like they should have they should have casted younger upcoming stars into this movie to give them the spotlight and to give them the chance, and I feel like it would have been better. I don't know. I don't think I don't think they needed Blake into this. And Justin basically took the role because he was convinced by the author to take it. He just wanted to direct the whole time. So
I
I
would
don't
have
know.
casted I would have casted Vivi Magic.
You imagine?
No, but she's just as demanding. Never mind.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. She probably would
Um,
have done more demands than Blake Lively. But anyway, keep going.
Probably. Um, yeah, so she tells Sony that she refuses to approve all marketing if Justin's name is credited with her, and will block the promotion featuring her face and name if these demands aren't met. So that's what it is here. So this is basically now like her retaliating because they're forcing her to sign and not accepting her extension. So she's saying like they have to take off his name from all things. Yeah. It says she wouldn't. Yeah, she won't. She'll refuse all marketing that has his name credited with hers, and that she won't approve all rights.
And it happened too, because she's on the poster, but just herself, and it just says Blake Lively. Like
That's what I'm saying.
no
And
type
this
of
is the
credit.
start. Yeah, this is the start. Like this is her demand. Um,
Dirty.
right? I know. And like unfortunately they had to remove it from the posters. Yeah, it says right here, Sony's they had to remove it from the posters at
Damn.
this time because of her demand. Yeah. Crazy, right? Like, can you imagine?
What exactly is the lawsuit going after? First of all, who's suing who? First of all.
She came at him first for I think it was like 250 million for slandering, for like saying
What?
negative things about her in the media. Yep. She came at him first. So he retaliated back with a lawsuit, like a countersuit back to her for 400 million, saying that all of her claims are false and that she's trying to ruin his career and his image.
I think he's gonna win that. I don't
Yo,
know that
there
I
was
don't
a
know.
big update last night. I'm just gonna say a big update
Oh,
last night in the
what was it?
battle, and it's not looking good for her right now.
What was it? Say it. Say it.
There was a deadline. I think it was last night at midnight, or it was like the night before. I don't know, like the timeline of it exactly. But there was a deadline for her to submit like more things or whatever, like the final whatever before it goes. I don't know the legal things necessarily of it, but she had a deadline to submit all of her things because I think I mentioned it last week how she put a subpoena out for his phone records, Jamie's, like his assistants, like everybody on his team. They put a subpoena out like 2 weeks ago to all the phone companies to get all of their texts and emails and everything because they wanted to find something so that they can use against them, right? Like she's trying to look for proof on her side. Um, and she found nothing. Yeah. Yeah, and she had to like go back on some of her claims and then the claims she left on there like are still like proven. And like that's the thing. Like he literally dropped everything in this document. He has nothing to hide. He gave up everything he has. So she knows that and she tried to subpoena it to get more, trying to find one little thing that she can grasp onto because she already knows that she's been caught editing like texts and emails, right? Like they've
Yeah.
already disproven like all the things that she edited. So she's trying to find something more so that she can hook onto now because she's
So
panicking, right?
yesterday's update is that she didn't meet the deadline of whatever she needed to produce
No,
to the court.
she met the deadline, but what she turned up wasn't good enough, basically. She showed up with nothing. Like nothing big was added, like no big proof, nothing to really push her forward into this
Nothing
whole
to
thing.
help her cause.
Literally. If anything, it made her look worse because she looks more pathetic that she went through all that trouble and came up with nothing.
Mm.
Like, yeah.
Mm.
So this is what I mean. She's crazy. I don't understand. Um, so so she threatens saying that she won't do any promotion or nothing.
What does that
Um,
mean? What is Mahalo talking about?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know Mahalo Joe.
Yeah, no
Mahurler.
idea.
Anyway, keep going.
Um, so then continuing on, um, after she finishes her whole editing of her film that she did, she holds hostage. She holds the film hostage in the edit room. Um, and threatens wait yeah
Go.
and threatens to change her mind. Oh yeah, so she holds it hostage, demanding her like demands still, like she's not wanting to give in, and then she also decides that she's going to change her mind about reaching out to Taylor Swift to use one of her songs for the trailer if her demands aren't met.
Is
So
that a
like
good
she's
song?
I mean, it's a good song. It's a pretty good song. I don't think it really fit the trailer at all. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, so basically she's holding her demands and making more threats, saying that if they don't give in, like she's not going to give the movie back because now she's holding the film hostage in the room. So obviously at this point, Sony is pressuring Wayfair now to settle this issue between them and Blake, because now it's May. The movie's supposed to be released in theaters at the beginning of August, so like in 3 months. So they're like, there is a deadline here. Like you gotta figure this out with her because if you don't get this like figured out soon, you're not gonna make the deadline to release the movie, right? Like, because
Yeah, they're
Sony's
just
here
worried
just to
about their.
promote it.
I presume they're just worried about their money. Like, figure this shit out because we need to give this movie out
Yeah,
so we can
yeah,
get
100%. Yeah. So Sony um puts the pressure on to Wayfair now to basically say like you guys need to figure this out at this point because this is becoming too much. Like you need to solve this now or like you're not going to make the deadline. So Wayfair obviously has no other choice but to agree to her demands. And
Oh Lord.
yep. And so they give her another week to edit. Um Unfortunately. So
Whatever you want, Blake. Whatever you
right, basically. So she got the extra week to edit, and this extra week that she was editing, she now had brought in the editor that worked with Ryan's team on like Deadpool, I think, or whatever. I don't know. But she brought in a new editor from Ryan's team for that week. So that's where they went and changed everything. But during that week, Justin was actually on a promotional like event for the film. So this is kind of like his one and only promotional thing he did for the movie, really. Because she was busy editing and she kind of really had no say at this point. So he went with the author, and like you could tell, like from like the actual interviews that they did together and like the whole day that they were promoting the movie, like it was all happy. Like you could see that they like there was no tension between the author and him. Like they had like a friendship. It was all good vibes, like good promotion. Nothing bad was happening. um so then after that, I mean, she was supposed to be done May 8th. She took an extra 2 days to finish. And when she finished, she didn't want anybody to see it. Like she refused to give Justin her cut of the movie, which she was supposed to. Like that was the deal. She got extra time to edit the movie, and then they already agreed beforehand that you have to give it to Justin so that he can incorporate your cut into his final cut because he's the director. He has final say. But at this point, she finished it and refused to give it to him. And instead, she said that she wanted to do a friends and family screening of her cut for feedback and then to continue editing. So they had no choice, obviously, but to agree to this. So while she did her friends and family cut, Wayfair decided to do the like official like screen test now for the audience, like the before screen test. So this is where he got his 94% with the film. So he had a high score rating. And then she refused to give back. Like she didn't share any feedback to anybody about her friends and family screening, which basically is just her gloating to her friends and family that like, hey, look at this movie I'm making. But didn't provide actual feedback for it.
Magic has a question.
Yeah, sorry. Wait, but why and how did it come to sexual? That's what I mean. That was like before. That was earlier when they were filming, when she made the accusations that she was doing these sexual things, or that he was doing these sexual things during like certain scenes and whatnot. But it's all been proven that like she's exaggerated. Like the one thing that she said was when they were doing their montage dancing scene where they were doing like the B-roll shots essentially for like a collage, not collage, like a
Montage.
montage. When they were filming those type of things, they were dancing together in the one, and she claimed that he was like smelling her, telling her she smelled good and saying like all these weird creepy things to her, and it was false. Like she lied about it, because he dropped the full video. He's like, here's my receipt, and dropped the whole like 10-minute unedited video of that scene. And you clearly see them dancing, they're talking back and forth. And then at one point, she mentions that she has spray tan on and that it smells bad. She's like, you probably smell my spray tan. And then he commented saying, it smells good. Because I'm sure it's probably like coconut spray tan. They have like coconut smelling ones. So or whatever. So
They were mic'd up. They were mic'd up, or is it just he said she said of what they were saying?
I don't think they were mic'd up, but you can hear them talking because the camera was close enough that you could still hear them talking. It's not like super loud, but like you could still hear them talking in the footage. If I find the footage later, I can send it to you, but it's a whole 10 minutes and I didn't cue it up for that moment. But he literally dropped the whole video and was like, here, this is the exact scene she's talking about. Tell me where I was where I did sexual assault to her.
I feel like he might be doing himself a disservice and dropping all of these videos and saying like, "Here's my receipts," I feel like he should really save that for court, and
I
then
think
like
he
really drop.
has more. I'm pretty sure he has a lot more, but also too, like, why not drop it? Because what's she gonna say?
Because it's not that. Me and my strategic brain, I'm
Uh-huh.
thinking like let her think that let her think that she's like she's got the
Yeah,
upper
yeah, yeah, and
hand,
drop it all at once on her. Be
and
like,
then
here you go.
when
Yeah,
we're at
wreck her.
court, drop the hammer.
Well, I feel like he's still gonna do it. Um, if they make it, I don't know. It depends. She might actually, she might settle because it's not looking good
She
for her. So,
better. She, at this
yeah,
point, like it's not looking good. You better
it's
settle.
not looking good at all for her. That's what I mean. So, yeah. So I mean, I see why he did it because his name's been slandered, right? And like he's having a really tough time behind the scenes, like the whole past year. Like he's had all these sexual allegations against him when he has all this proof that he didn't do anything. So of course, like I mean, she's accused him of multiple things. He hasn't released everything. He's only released I think like two or three things that prove like that he's not doing anything wrong. He's like, here's the proof. Like, you tell me what I'm doing wrong. Um,
You know what though? I
hmm,
keep interrupting you, but you know what?
no, it's okay.
I say that from the outside, like as an outsider, but I know if somebody tried to slander my name, like I would immediately jump on that and be like, nah,
That's what I
this
mean.
fuck everything else, fuck court. We're gonna get this settled today, you know?
Yeah.
So I get it. I get it. I understand.
Yeah, because like at this point, like he's already tired of the fact that like she took over his literal movie, and then now she's also at the same time trying to like slander his name.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was at the point, like the breaking point, where it's like, you can't take like how much more are you gonna take from me? Let me at least like stand up for myself a little bit here. So I can understand why he's dropped everything and why he dropped this whole fucking lawsuit on a website. Being like, here's all my fucking proof, dude. Like I can understand from that point as to where he would be fed up with it. So yeah, so she does her friends and family feedback thing or whatever, and she refuses to tell anybody about the feedback she got from her friends. So basically, what she did was she just showed her friends and family the movie beforehand. Um, basically. So they showed Justin's cut to an audience. His score was 94. And at the same time, Sony forced her to show her movie to an audience. And their agreement before this was whoever had the highest score, that's the movie we're going with. Because at this point, they're like, we need to put something out, right? So that was the final agreement. Whoever scores higher on their version, we're going with. He scored 94. She scored 82.
Bang bang.
Yeah. Yeah. So she got 82 and he got 94. Um,
If you were
but
to see if you saw Taylor Swift, I mean, if you saw Blake Lively at Granville Island, what would you tell her?
wait, what?
If you saw her, if you just saw her, what would you tell her? Like, you finna lose your money. What would you tell her? What would you tell her? Like, just if you
What,
saw her,
Lively?
yeah.
Mm,
What advice would you give her?
I just call her bitch and walk on, dude. And dude, what's funny about that? Ryan's actually like a native Vancouverite. I'm pretty sure they have a home here.
That's damn. I learn something new every day. Vancouverite,
Yeah, he's a Vancouverite.
Vancouverite. It's not
Um,
Vancouverian.
yeah.
Okay.
So she lost. And then she further said that she's gonna refuse to promote the film again. And then she even got the author to agree that the author will also refuse to promote the film unless it was Blake's cut,
Sore loser.
right? And like this was why it was kind of out of left field because literally like a week before, the author was doing the press with Justin and everything was good. And now like Blake has convinced the author to be on her side with this. Um yeah, so and that's what broke the relationship between the author and him at that point. Like they lost all trust in her and whatnot. So yeah, this is just the score ratings for them. Um so yeah, they really had no choice now but to allow it. So after this, they're like, okay, fine. she needed more time to edit because she wanted to make notes now and re-edit because she was upset that she only got an 82. So she demanded another week to edit and add changes to it. So they obviously had to agree to it at this point. Um, and then she got tested again. So they were kind of forced to let her edit and was tested again. And actually, it was funny because during that editing, the actual editors on Justin's team found out that her her second version of the movie, I guess, was basically a lot of what Justin's team had added. So they were all excited because they're like, look, she has to like now put what we worked on in it to make hers look better, essentially. So they were just gloating about it. They were all excited about it. And guess what? Her score came back. She had 83%. She was up 1% for her second viewing. So didn't really make a
Mahalo has
difference
a
there.
question.
What's your question, Mahalo? Bro, you guys are talking about recent events. I'm still on like last year's events. Calm down. We'll get there. We'll get there. I'm trying to get there fast, guys. You keep
Hurry up! I
sidetracking
want
us.
the juice.
Oh, I know. I'm just sidetracking. So, at this time, this is getting closer and closer to the film being released. Justin actually ends up in the hospital with a spine infection. Well, let's rewind back to the fact that one of her allegations against him was him calling her fat when he was asking how much she weighed because he has a spine injury and needed to train and work out to be able to lift her in the scene. And yet here he is having a spine infection and being hospitalized and having surgery for this.
I can't remember if he ends up lifting her. Does he in the movie?
They cut it out.
Oh,
Well, she cut it out because she didn't want any trace of the scene being like she didn't want any trace that was scripted because she was trying to say that he was fat shaming her, and if there was a scene in the movie showing him lifting, then that's proof that um that he's right and she's wrong. So it wasn't in the final cut, in
there's a
her cut.
comment from the crowd.
It's not that I've done research, it's just the fact that I've been keeping up to date and then I did read through this whole thing. I guess that's research, but I read it more out of the entertainment part of it. But thanks. And then at the same time, when he's in hospital, she goes to another event, um, like book bonanza with the editor or with the author. And where was it? She brought the movie with her, like her cut. And like I don't have to play this video clip. I don't have it ready because it's a long thing. But basically she admits while she's on stage having these interviews this day that she stole the movie like and has it on a hard drive. She brought it with her on the airplane and is gonna show everybody there the film later because they were doing like a pre-film showing or whatever. So she admitted on stage that she stole the film basically, and it's her cut of the film, and that she was excited to share it with everybody. While like at the same time, Sony and Wayfair didn't approve this. They told her like you can't show it, but she went against it and still showed everyone that was there. And at the same time, she paid herself out of pocket to bring the other cast along to this event when it was supposed to only be her. She brought all the other cast except Justin, obviously. So this is the beginning of her promoting the movie now out of her own pocket with all the other cast and purposely leaving him out. And Sony didn't even know about the other cast being involved until the day of when they traveled there. And like she paid for everything, like for their travel and hotels. And they didn't know about it, which is like already shady enough. So like these are just some of the event stuff there. Yeah, they were just talking about how they're showing it. Oh, and then this is when Sony has to agree to waiving his film buy credit on the movie. So this is another one of her demands at this point. So they not only removed his name earlier from promotional things, but now they're removing his film buy credit. And they had to do it. And yeah, I love this part. It's for the clarity. Like, there's no reason to have this right waived. Like, there was literally like she had no right to remove it, but she still demanded it and gave them like no other choice but to remove his film buy, which is crazy.
What happens if he says no? Like, really, what happens? She's already filmed the whole movie.
Well, that's the thing. Like, at this point, like he's in the hospital at this point. Like, at this point, he's given up. Like, he's given up at this point. He's like, what's the point in fighting back when she's just gonna come back even harder with more demands?
Dignity? Shoot,
Well, he can say no, but the thing is, if he says no, she's just gonna come back with another demand.
I'm gonna come back with another no.
Yeah, I know, right? I know, right? Well, that's the thing. Then you're gonna keep further delaying the movie when you're already getting pressured from above to just settle things and move on, right? So at this point, like, it's kind of like you agree with her so that we can move on from it, right? Oh, and on the same day that she demanded that he remove the film credit, they agree to give her producer credit. So she got the producer credit. However, they said that they'll give it to her, but they're not giving her the PGA mark.
Doesn't she get
And
that too? She asked for that and she gets it, right?
Well, here's the thing. So they agreed to give her a producer at this point. They had no choice. But they said that they're not going to give her the PGA mark. Then she was upset about that. Obviously. And she got angry, and then she went to Sony again, forcing Sony to threaten Justin and Jamie to now write letters for her to get the PGA mark. Because they said no, so she had to go above and demand it. So Sony then came back to Justin and Heath and said that they really don't have a choice now. They need to write these letters. So they write the letter. And I actually have the copy of the letter here.
I have a copy of the letter.
Yeah.
Let's go, Tosh.
So they write the letter to the Producers Guild of America. This is the letter they write on behalf of Blake, and they sign it, Justin and Jamie, for her. But do note, they did sign it, they gave in. But then Jamie, like I said, my guy, love this guy. He sends another message, another email, basically saying we were forced and extorted to write this letter on behalf of her. We do not agree to what we have submitted. We do not stand behind this. Yeah, it was like control due to the extortion of Blake. Like, he basically wrote down saying, like, we do not agree. And I love this. The way he ends it, he said, "There's nothing to do with this letter now," as in like this specific email. It only serves as a way to memorialize why the letter was sent in the first place, and should we ever need it, to explain.
He knew.
He knew. So this is what I mean. Our guy Jamie had Justin's back this whole time. So he made sure he sent the letter being like, she deserves this PGA mark, totally. And then right after sends this being like, I don't agree to that. We were forced into that, just so you're aware of. And this is just my receipt, basically claiming it as proof. So this is what I mean. I love this dude. Yes, and I had to go. It jumps forward for that. So now it's going into marketing. So we're getting close. Like it's about a few weeks before the whole movie gets released, right? So this is like prime time now for marketing. This is the promotion time. This is when they're all out there excited about the movie. So Justin's team is looking to get information about the marketing plans. So they go to Sony, who Sony then tells them basically that Blake and some maximum effort. I think this is a company that works with Ryan essentially. They're running the show. They're the ones that are planning all the events now. Sony doesn't
Maximum
really.
maximum effort is Deadpool's catchphrase. I don't know if that matters, but that's his like slogan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So yeah, so basically Sony is telling like Justin's team, like his promotion team, whatever, that at this time, like Sony has no part. Even though Sony is supposed to be the marketing company for the movie, they're like, now Blake and this company are running the show. We have no part in the marketing at this point. This is all on them. They're paying for it. They're doing it. You need to contact them for information because they have nothing to like share. So that's the letter. Oh yeah, we're back to the letter. Yeah, because this was happening at the same time. So well, before we jump into that then, so Justin's team obviously reaches out to Blake and her team trying to get information about like what their promo plans are, and they're trying to like figure out how to get Justin involved, to schedule him in for like some events, to like know what dates he needs to be where, type of thing, right? Like they're just trying to get information so that Justin can be a part of his own film and promotion. Like he's the main character. He needs to be there, right? So they're reaching out, but they're getting no responses. They're getting nothing back. Like they're just left in the dark completely. So his team then decides that like since we're not getting any response back from her team, like let's have Justin do some promo on his own. Let's like have Justin film some social media videos or whatever to post on the online for him to promote it, you know, on his own. So that he at least can have something, right? Because like at this point they have no idea what's going on. So like let's just have him do something fun, you know. And then Blake finds out this plan and demands Sony to stop all of his interviews and promotions, or she was gonna cancel all of hers. So they had no point. They had no choice because they were threatened, and they had no idea. Like that's the thing. Like Sony didn't know what the fuck she was planning, but they know that she was planning like big things. Like she was spending a lot of money for her plans, but she wasn't sharing anything. So Sony was kind of like, she's gonna cancel everything that she's planning if you don't stop. So like we gotta stop so that she can continue and just let her run the show at this point. So Justin had to basically not do any promotion at this point. He was forced to be silent. And then her promo comes out, and the campaign is crazy that she did. So like they did the promotional campaign with all the cast and the author except obviously Justin. And what they did was they did content shoots of flower arrangements, baking cookies, Pictionary, collage making, and other like fun little things, right? And need I remind you, this is a movie about domestic violence. How does this correlate? How does the like this is when she was doing her whole promotion now for like bring your florals, bring your friends, and come watch this fun girly movie, you know, like that was it. She was promoting it as like a Barbie movie, right? Like this is supposed to be a fun, like relaxing movie for all your friends, you know. And at the same time she's promoting her own company. Like during this, it's her drink company called Betty Boo's. It's her alcoholic company that she supports. And like during the promotion of the movie, she was also promoting her own brands within it. So it's very crazy that she did it. And then also too, at the same time, like during that whole like promotional week that they were together doing all these videos, they also did stage paparazzi photos of all the cast out to dinner together, so making it look like they were all like friendly and having a good time and like, having a great time promoting this movie and everything. And he was completely out. Like he had no say or whatnot in any of this. Um, he was just left out, unfortunately, at this point. Um, and there's a part about Ryan too that caught me way off guard, but I'm not sure where that is. It's probably a little bit later. I don't know. Oh yeah. Wait, is it here? No. I've been jumping around so much, I don't know. Is it here? I have no idea. I love the part about Ryan though. Oh yeah, it's right here. Okay, so after this whole promo week, Ryan Reynolds contacted his agency, like his personal agency, and he started to attack his character, saying that he's a deranged predator. And basically saying all these like claims about him, trying to get him fired. And then he said that on the movie premiere date, August 6th, which we all know, the famous basement issue, he basically told them that nobody wants him there. So this is crazy that Ryan even did that to begin with.
This is like high school, but in Hollywood. Like everybody
Right?
has, yeah, and then like the author lady, she was friends with Homeboy, but then she became not friends with him to side with like the in crowd, you know?
Yep.
That's
Yep.
that's crazy.
Crazy, right? So yeah, so this is what I mean. Like this is like I understand why he dropped all of his receipts. Like that's why I understand why he's doing it, because like look at everything he had to deal with the whole time. Like not just with Blake, but now with Ryan, calling all of his like bosses essentially and saying all these things, trying to get them to fire him and make him look bad, and saying that nobody wants him to be at his own movie premiere.
Trying to get that man
Um,
canceled.
right? Um, he did end up going to a one event, but it was a very minor event that not many people were aware of. But this was the same day that Ryan called the company and threatened him. He was literally doing like this one promo event that he was allowed to do essentially. Um, and then at the same time, she invited all of the cast from the movie to Ryan's Deadpool um, premiere, because the movies came out, I think, like the same week or whatever. So she invited the entire cast except Justin to come walk the carpet with her and Ryan for Deadpool. And then leaving him out, like trying to make the public look like, oh wow, like the cast is such good friends, like, but Justin's the problem, right? Like he's not here. He's like the sexual predator that's not invited. Like the cast doesn't like him. This was also at the time too when she essentially forced them all to unfollow him on Instagram, which made news at that time. Like that, like, oh my god, the entire cast unfollowed him. Like he's like a terrible person. Yeah, they did a cast wide boycott, basically, which is crazy. um, so the next parts are kind of like, oh yeah, and then this was after, um, just before the movie premiered. He hires, like they tell Justin that he needs to hire, um, what's crisis PR lawyers, basically. And they hire, I think it's Melissa. I think this is Melissa, the same person that was the lawyer for Johnny Depp. So this is when like his team basically was saying like, look, like they're trying, like, because obviously at this time like the cast is now, going against him and whatnot. So like things aren't looking good now for him. Like it's very obvious that they're all now really piling on Justin, and they're going with this narrative. So they're like, let's let's get ahead of this right now and hire somebody. So they hired Johnny Depp's lawyer basically to come in, and to obviously lawyer for him. I don't know the word.
Represent him?
Yeah, represent him basically. So basically all of these pages here basically are just them going into it. A lot of during this time too, like Blake's team obviously found out that he lawyered up, so they were trying to make it look like um he's
He got
guilty, and he's
like he's
trying
got something
to
to hide.
got something to hide basically. He's like, oh look, like he's lawyering up for like all this reason type of thing. And then at the same time that this is all going on, like his personal assistant, or like I don't know what you would call it, like his agent or whatever that he works with, the agent works for obviously another company, right? And her boss, like they're having tensions with between them within their company. Like it's like a side thing, like a whole side issues going on at the same time here with his agent and then her boss and then their company or whatnot, to the point where like like his agent quit the company because like there was a lot of shady shit going on there. So she quit, and she told Justin, obviously, like, I had to quit my job. Like, I'm going to stay with you as long as I can, stay with them as long as I can for the transitional period. But obviously, like, look, like, I'm here for you. But, like, just so you know, it'll come out that I quit, like, and that I won't be able to represent you anymore under the company type of thing, right? So, like, obviously, that's like a whole side thing, but that obviously looked bad on him at the same time, because that's when the news broke. And I remember seeing an article coming out being like, during this whole time when all the bad press was around Justin, saying like, oh, like he's a terrible person, that his own agent fired him. Like they were saying, they were rolling with that headline, saying that like he's such a bad person that even his agents quit on him. But the thing is, she provides like so much text. Like his agent is Jennifer Abel. Stephanie Jones is the boss of her, and basically Jennifer gave all of her emails and messages to with her boss as proof in this receipt, or in this lawsuit, as like look, like I didn't quit because of Justin, I quit because of my boss, and here's I didn't, like, it had nothing to do with Justin, it was all on me, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so she tried to stay as long as she could, obviously, yeah, because she gave her 2 weeks or whatnot, and it had nothing to do with him. It was her own personal issues with her company. But obviously, like, social media took it way above and beyond and spun it a different way. And then obviously Blake jumped on that. And then at the same time as this, the movie, like, it's days from premiering for the movie, and online, even though like there's a lot of bad press currently for Justin, a lot of like the diehard fans of the book, like the actual people excited for this movie to come out, that are obsessed with the books, that are like, fangirls or whatnot, they're all like questioning. They're like, why is his character not in any of the promo stuff? Why is the actor not there? Like, what's going on? Like, he's the main guy. What's going on? So like, this is where like the beginnings of people like being noticing that he's not there, and like really wondering what's happening, and it's just adding more and more and more into it. Um, yeah, so basically it's just like all back and forth for a long time, with his PR team going back and forth, trying to stop the negative stories basically, and trying to put out good things, I guess. Like they were just, I can't remember exactly what it was, but they put out something specifically saying that like Justin couldn't be a part of some things due to health reasons, and like, you know, he had other things planned, scheduling conflicts. Like they were just trying to like come up with a reason why he wasn't there to make it not look so shady or whatnot that he wasn't there. Basically, coming up with an excuse why he wasn't there without telling the world that Blake forced him not to come. Basically, like they were just trying to put out like a little like it's whatever. He'll be there the day of. Oh, and this is one of my favorite things too. This is Blake putting out a thing. This is one of her what do you call it? Claims, proofs that she put out a long time ago of some text messages. The thing is, I really cannot read in on these. I can't remember exactly which ones these are, but even if I zoom in, like, bruh.
So like an alleged receipt.
Yeah. So basically, this is her receipt making a claim against Justin, and then obviously you can see on the side, like exactly like these are the exact text. This was excluded. Like these were excluded. This was included. This was excluded. This was here. This was all excluded. She added this. All of this was excluded. So like this is what I mean. Like they have all the receipts and they can prove everything that she's posted and everything that's actually there
Damn.
with context, word for word. So like, you know, this is when they're like gathering all this information, seeing all of her things that she's putting out and being like, you know, like what's going on here? Like why is she putting this out when it's not has nothing to do or whatever. She's missing a lot of it. And then yeah. And then the biggest question around the promo is like, why is he not here? And the comments keep going and going and going. It's just building up for like the week before. Yeah, and then right before the movie was premiered too, like right before the day, an article came out about him bullying, which was not a good one. um, oh, I remember this too. He basically said he was talking about he was talking with his lawyers and his assistant about ideas to promote the movie on their own side because like they're still trying to promote it. So he messages about, I think this is like a link from Facebook or something, but like he specifically mentioned like an ad and how like you can what's the word, like force an ad onto things, like to like have it like a top ad. So basically he's just
Yeah.
saying like we need to do this, like we should pay to
Like
have like the
boost.
movie, yeah, to like boost it basically. And like that's what he's saying, like he sent this as a sample and he's like we should do this, like this is what we should do to promote it, like we should pay for this and try to get it. And they're like yeah, like let's focus on Reddit, TikTok, Instagram, trying to like pay for it to be boosted or whatnot. And then he's also like, you know, there's people that want to interview me and all this, and like he's getting reached out to, but like obviously Blake keeps trying to shut him down, being like, you're not allowed to do any of this. But he's trying to find his way around it, right? Being like, here, like let's do these like little Instagram boosts, you know, for us, you know, like let's just put something out, something fun, just YOLO. But she took this and said that like this was used in one of her smear campaigns, that she said that he wanted to do this to say that she's bad or that she's lying, you know, like he said she used this as proof that he was trying to slander her name, when this is proof that he was trying to use it to promote the movie, not to put out any ads or anything against her. I don't know if I made sense with that. I feel like I was all over the place with that one.
No, I get it. I get
Okay.
it.
And then premiere day, the big premiere day, you know, everyone's there, the whole cast is there for the movie release day. They're all walking the carpet. Obviously, we all know he and his wife, and he obviously like because he's a director, he has like a list of friends and family. He has like a certain amount of tickets or whatnot. So he brought a whole bunch of his friends and family along with him to come watch the movie. Um, they snuck him onto the red carpet. She refused to let him walk the red carpet in general. He wasn't supposed to be on the red carpet at all, but he came early so that he could walk it, and he obviously took some pictures with him and his wife on the carpet for the promo. And then they had to um, take his friends and family and him to the basement so that the rest of the cast and especially Blake wouldn't run into each other basically.
That's
So he
crazy
was
power. That's
right.
crazy power.
Yeah. Yeah, because they had to be taken to the basement while Blake, Ryan, and the rest of the cast walked the carpet. And then um, that, after that, they were sent to another small theater, a separate screening. So they weren't even allowed to be in the same screening room. They were sent to another separate screening room.
Crazy.
I mean, I wouldn't mind at that point because I'm like, you're surrounded by your friends and families. Like, you don't have to sit in the same room as her, you know?
Nah, it's the principle.
I know. Um, oh yeah, and this is also around the time when the whole unfollowed him online really took over. Everybody was running with that. And yeah,
Tasha, are
this
we
is
gonna have
when
a part 3? Because we're
no.
approaching.
Okay, so basically, yeah, so it's all over. Back and forth, back and forth. We can just skip because basically, yeah, the rest of this is just yeah. I don't think I might be skipping over something important. Actually, I probably am for sure. Um,
No, 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 no.
but
I don't leave it for part 3 then.
no, it's okay. Because honestly, that's really as far as you need to get to. But what I do want to share, if I can, before we wrap things up for the day, um,
Nah,
did
mom,
I
mom, you missed last week. We had a whole part 1 was last week, mom.
part
We
one was last week. Can I share my our Twitter? Now, if I click into here, so oh shit, I don't know if it's gonna have sound. It's on our podcast Twitter. Are you able to pull it up? It's in our DMs.
let me see. I'm not even logged into our podcast Twitter on my computer. I don't believe. Hold on.
Wow.
Just DM it to
Wow.
me.
Oh, okay. So I have two of the videos that I will share. One of them is the video I sent to you, Magic, last week. I also sent it to you, I think, last week, but I don't know if you watched it. I just sent you it on Twitter. Did you get it?
On Twitter.
Twitter. It's on your personal Twitter.
Okay. Which one?
The first one first. I don't know why. Um, there we go. Okay, so before you play it, so this is an old interview with her. Can you pause it? What are you doing? So this is an old interview that has resurfaced within the past like few weeks here of her. I can't remember how long ago this was. This was a few years ago. She did this interview for Forbes,
Oh yeah, you
and it's
sent this
great.
to me right after we our
I
last.
did.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I did. So this is basically her admitting
Her guilt.
everything. Yeah, and this is even way before she started filming this movie. Like she already was in this mindset.
Yup.
would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt like a rug pull because you're like, you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't hire you to do. And so it was a really strange position to be in because I felt like I want to just like be an actor. Like I want to have more authorship.
Oh hell no.
So how does that make you feel watching that, knowing that this was years before the whole movie?
That's crazy foreshadowing.
Right?
Sure.
Like, she literally has admitted in the past that she gets hired purposely to be the actor, and then as soon as she's hired, she takes over. Craziness.
Hold on.
Yeah. You see, Magic? That's the part that's like crazy because there's a lot of interviews that have been recently coming up with her like saying all these things, and I'm shocked that nobody has mentioned it or noticed it beforehand. Like, nobody really looked at them and like side questioned it. They're like, okay, sure. Like, and I don't know, I just think it's weird because she made this interview and not one person was like, that's a little sus. But okay. But now obviously looking back, you're like, okay. And that was fucking sus as hell. You could play the next one. The next one is first of all, it's like the actual photo, and it's like quoted of the SNL thing. So we'll get to the SNL thing right now, Matt. And I think it was Mahalo that was complaining about the SNL being tied in.
Tasha,
What?
are y'all on live right now?
Yeah.
Babe, you're on live right now.
I've been on live. That's how you know she doesn't watch our stream.
Babe.
We get no support.
Babe.
Yeah, I know.
Tasha.
What?
Y'all are on live right now.
Yeah.
And do you see how Max is looking right now?
Yo, we've already talked about this at the beginning, dude. We just accepted it.
Well, I walked in and I'm in shock.
This is the style.
Janie, I've been sitting here with him for an hour and a half. The shock has left.
Okay, well, the shock has just hit me like a ton of bricks. Okay, baby, you do you, boo.
Just remember, Janie, this is who you chose to marry.
I'm your person.
I'm proud. I'm so proud right now.
Yeah. I can hear it in your voice.
I'm proud right now.
Okay, so pause this before you go. So obviously, like, a lot of things keep coming out about it. Obviously, the press isn't looking that good right now for Blake. And what's crazy to me, this is the first time that she has come out into public since the lawsuit has dropped, which they filed the whole lawsuit. Like, she put the lawsuit out in December. And then he countered it obviously in January. I think it was like December 31st. But for the past like 2 months, she hasn't really been out and about in public. So this is like her first public event coming out, like, since dropping the lawsuit. And like, she obviously attended the SNL 50 award this weekend.
Yeah.
And Ryan did this. You can play it.
Acting like nothing's wrong.
Right?
Why are they applauding him?
Okay, but go back to the actual like first post that I sent you of the actual screen without the video.
Hold on, I want to see this.
Stop. I knew he was gonna get stuck on this.
Huh?
I knew you were gonna stop, like, not stop, because it's basketball.
Okay.
Okay, can you go back to like the actual post that I sent with the like the quote tweet of it? Because my fucking favorite part. No. Like, go to the actual DM that we DM'd.
What do you mean?
Your DM. Go to the DM with you and me. Click on this. Like, no, not on the. Yeah, click on the actual tweet itself. Yeah, right there. Click. So these photos are my fucking favorite photos because while Ryan was standing up saying like, "Why? What have you heard?" talking about the whole like, like they have so much negativity being like going around, right?
Yeah.
And him trying to make a joke. This was her reaction. I don't think she knew he planned to do that.
I that can't
I
be.
don't think she
There's,
knew.
there's no
I don't
way.
think she knew. I don't think she knew. From her reaction, because before he even stood up, she was smiling, she was happy. Like she was clapping and engaging. And then after he stood up and said that and everybody started to laugh in the room, like that was her face. I don't think she knew. I don't think she knew. I think Ryan like last minute was like, "Yo, do you know it'd be funny if we try to make a joke about it?"
Nah, I'm on team she knew.
I
Cause
don't think so. I'm on team she didn't know. I'm on team Ryan left this like didn't tell her.
I don't know. Magic says, "Ill, why is she on live and not texting me?"
She's talking about Janie.
Janie, yeah.
But yeah,
I don't
I
know.
don't think she knew. I don't think she knew based on her reaction. Because I feel like if she knew, she would have had a better reaction. I think she would have like probably laughed along or something. Like I think she would have purposely planned it because it's her first time being out since the whole lawsuit has dropped. So she wants to look like the innocent person, right?
There's no way that they do. There's no way
She
they
wants
stop the
to
whole
she wants
show.
to look innocent, right? She wants to look like the good person here. And then Ryan comes in with a joke. And the craziest part, like, can you imagine your husband does this joke on SNL on a huge like platform about like hearing things regarding your wife who's claiming a sexual assault against somebody and you're making jokes out of the situation.
Nah, she knew. Fuck that. She knew. She
No,
knew.
she didn't know. She didn't know. I swear, I don't think she knew. I think Ryan came in sideways because her reaction from that. I wish we had a longer clip of it, like a few seconds after, because it cuts off right there. But I'm team. She didn't know because he came out making jokes about this situation. When
Yeah.
like, why are you joking about something that's supposed to be like a sensitive thing for your wife?
And maybe she like maybe that was all scripted too, like her reaction. So
I
to
don't
get
think
more
so.
to
I
draw
don't
out
think
more
that was.
controversy.
No. If she scripted a reaction, I feel like it would have been something completely different. That would have made her look better. That would have had positivity around it. Because ever since this dropped, like the whole SNL, the press around her and around the situation has been chaos. Like there's been nothing positive said about them since. Like I feel like it's done the opposite of what they were trying to do if they were trying to make it look good. Like I actually here, I'll send you one more thing in the DM. I'm setting it for my own personal one, not the podcast. Like I saw this earlier today. Like everything, so SNL was this past weekend and it's only been like 3 days since like this whole incident has gone down. And all week, the all media right now has been negative about them. Yeah, it's only been 2 days when this dropped, and like when you click on the photo, there's two of them, but you click on one of them, and you can see that all of these um, social media news, whatever you call them, outlets, all of the stories that are being released about them is negative. So that's why I mean I think he like improvised this and like last minute added it and she was left out in the dark because I think he was hoping that by him making a joke and by trying to lighten it up, like I think he was hoping to have good things, good press about it. And that was basically what her goal was coming back out for the first time since this whole lawsuit. Obviously she doesn't want more negativity around it, right? Like she wants to be looking like, the innocent one in this whole thing. But he goes and makes this joke, and it was like one thing. He only said like one line. And look at how much negative press they've gotten in two
I have a
days from
question.
that.
I have a
What?
question because I always have the best questions. Are they gonna divorce over this?
So magic. Great question.
Thank you. That
I
was a
said
magical question.
magic. I said magic. Um, honestly, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Because I think they're both like narcissists, and they both want to get what they want to get, and they're gonna get it. I don't think they will. If they do, I think it'll be way after, if she loses the case really hard and is forced to pay him the 400 million. That's going to take a huge hit on them financially, and I think that might cause something like financial stress within their relationship. And like also too, at that time, like obviously sh- it's going to make them look bad. Obviously their reputations are going to be ruined at that point. Nobody's going to want to work with them. I mean, even now, I don't think anybody's really wanting to work with them anymore, knowing how difficult they've been. So I can already see that it's going to blow up, and their reputations are going to obviously take a huge hit from this. I think it just depends on how far that goes, to the point if they actually will. But I don't know. I don't see it unless it really explodes.
This would be like me and Janie doing content for Quid. Like you just can't survive it.
Literally. No, I think they'll hold on. Do you know what? I think they'll hold on as much as Beyonce and Jay-Z are during the whole allegations against Jay-Z. I
She
think
dropped it.
she
She dropped the case, that one girl.
Okay,
So
we're not
I
even gonna
told
get there
you,
yet.
Todd. I
But
tried
we'll
to
get,
tell
if
you.
you want, I will dig into that one.
I
But
There's no digging. The case has been dropped. What they were
it
after
doesn't
that
matter if it's
one,
been dropped or not. I'm just saying. There's
not
still some
even
shady shit there. There's still some shady shit there.
no, no.
There's still shady shit
You can't.
happening.
You can't. How can you say that when there, it didn't even go to
I
trial?
I feel like Blake and Ryan are still ride or dies together, as Beyonce and Jay-Z are now, to the point where like I don't think they will actually separate, because I think they probably have dirt on each other essentially. Well, it's not. I think Beyonce and Jay-Z have dirt on each other that's forcing them together. Whereas Ryan and Blake, I think they're forced together because of their equal narcissistic behaviors and trying to get what they want, and they're on top of it, and like whatnot, right? Their connections. So I think once those connections start to break down and their reputation starts to lose it, then I could see that at that point they're gonna be like, well, what's the point staying together at this point? Like I can't use you anymore, essentially. Like you can't really have each other to support, because they're both falling down together. So I feel like that would be the point.
Hell yeah! I got hella dirt on Janie. Like one time she jaywalked. I was like, yo, I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save that for we ever have to go to court.
It's okay. I'll be next to her. I'll be the next case right after, with the amount of times I've jaywalked. Okay, but any final words? Because we don't have to return to this anymore next week, because we
We
basically
might.
covered
We
most
might
of
have
it.
to. We might have to.
I mean, if there's any updates this week, we might just jump back in for a minute, but no more full part 3.
For
We basically covered the whole thing.
final words. This has been very informative, Tasha.
Mm-hmm.
Salute to you for the research and for the excitement that you presented this with. But next week, I will talk to you about this Jay-Z case because
Oh, really?
You got it all twisted. I might have to
Oh,
present.
do I now? Okay,
Yes,
okay, okay,
the same
okay,
way I
okay.
had this one twisted. Watch. We'll get there.
So
But yeah.
wait, here, while we ended them, what's your final verdict on the whole situation?
On this one,
Yeah, like on Blake and Justin.
I think you had the perfect word. Like I just sum it up to just complete absolute narcissism and need for power. I don't know what else to chalk it up to. She could have just did her job as an actor, got paid, promoted the movie, just like any other movie. But nah, you had to have this, this, and this, and this, and it became like an ego trip, in my opinion. It became like,
Yep.
nah, I want this because I'm Blake Lively. I want this because I'm Ryan Reynolds or whatever, you know. And so it was just unfortunate that Homeboy had to go through every. And shout out to Homeboy, he took bullet after bullet after bullet, like in the eyes of the public.
Justin.
And he remained strong and buried into his who I am and my innocence So shout out to that dude. But yeah, I just chalk it up to just absolute narcissism and need for power.
Mm-hmm. Justice for Justin.
Justice for Justin.
Mm-hmm. I agree. All right. Well, that's it from me.
All right. With that said, shout out to all three of you guys for hanging with us at episode 57, I believe, on the We're Not Friends podcast. We will see you guys next time where we will discuss, and I am.